Google has been the undisputed king of web searches for the past 20 years. The phrase Googling has come to mean finding information. Need a recipe or just want to settle a dispute with a friend? Just Google it. With a net value of $1.15 trillion in 2022, they look unstoppable. So what precisely might cause a huge firm like Google to panic to the point where they declared an internal code red? Well, with Microsoft's ambitions to incorporate the latest AI system into their search engine, Bing, it's OpenAI's ChatGPT who threatens Google's 20-year web search dominance.
GPT passed the U.S. medical licensing exam, the bar exam, and got a B on a Wharton MBA paper.
So stick around until the end. You won't want to miss this shocking AI war that is unfolding before us. In this video, we'll discuss how Microsoft's Bing could be a serious threat to Google, how Google intends to combat this competition, and how ChatGPT poses a risk to Google's web dominance. Let's get into it. ChatGPT has received a ton of worldwide attention since its release. ChatGPT was the fastest app in history to reach 100 million users, so that should give you a notion of the magnitude of the situation. It took just 2 months, as opposed to TikTok's 9 and Instagram's 30. A disruptive product or technology is typically signaled early on by a high adoption rate. We dug deep into ChatGPT a few weeks back. It has since been improved and is now better than ever. However, it's crucial to understand that it has its flaws and occasionally provides biased or flat-out false information. So, how exactly is ChatGPT a threat to Google? Let's get into that next. By merging this technology into their search engine, Bing, Microsoft hopes for financial gain. Later in the video, we'll talk about the enormous consequences of this, but right now, we need to learn something. How did Microsoft and OpenAI first come into contact with one another? 2019 saw the beginning of their partnership as Microsoft made a $1 billion investment in OpenAI. This was incredibly important for both businesses. Microsoft has access to some of the top AI technologies in the world, thanks to the acquisition of OpenAI's intellectual property portfolio, giving it a competitive edge over the significant competitors in the tech sector. This means that Microsoft's Bing now has a true competitive edge against Google for the first time in history. Let's see how Google reacted to this news next. Google was shocked when Microsoft dropped the bombshell that they planned to integrate ChatGPT into Bing. Google declared an emergency code red situation within their own company. A Google official told the New York Times that it was a pivotal time for the business. But wait, this is Google, the organization that owns the top search engine on the planet. 90% of the world's web searches are featured on Google. In 2022, Microsoft's little Bing only represented 9% of desktop searches globally. This may have you wondering, why is Google freaking out? Google is considering the possible hardships for the future rather than what is happening in the present. Although chatbots are not new, the level of performance shown by ChatGPT unquestionably separates it from the mediocre chatbots of the past. How we interact with search engines may change as a result of ChatGPT or the anticipated rise of AI assistants. Microsoft might have seen this opportunity as well, which is why they have bet on OpenAI and its technology. I just want you to pause for a second and consider this. It would be revolutionary if an AI-powered search engine provided you with the precise information or response you needed in a clear manner while allowing you to delve deeper and ask more questions. Just imagine not having to waste your time clicking through many different links in hopes of finding the specific information you were originally searching for. If you're looking for a specific answer, you have to Google it, get a ton of results that might or might not apply, and if it's detailed enough, you end up visiting a forum and browsing all the responses there. The answer would already be formulated in the world of AI-powered search engines, since the AI has already read and crawled the entire web, and one could believe that this is the area where AI-powered search would thrive the most in extremely particular situations. There is a legitimate reason why it made Google tremble a little and caused them to call a code red. A potential existential challenge to Google's business strategy is ChatGPT. Let's see why this is a threat to Google's business operations next. Google generates 60% of its revenue from search, and ChatGPT provides a substitute for search in the form of a one-stop AI-powered question and answer center. However, since search is the foundation of Google's operations, this may completely alter the game. People using search engines will no longer have to navigate through a flat page of results that is cluttered with advertisements if OpenAI incorporates a ChatGPT-like language model into Bing. Although this might be excellent news for users, it's definitely bad news for a firm like Google. Why does this harm Google so much, you ask? It is simply due to the fact that Google searches account for over 60% of their revenue. Even Gmail's creator, Paul Buchheit, believes that ChatGPT-like AI will destroy Google's business in 2 years. If the amount of this revenue is seriously harmed, it might be catastrophic to Google's business model. If that doesn't sound horrible enough, wait until you see what other issues Google is currently facing next. Along with the rest of the globe, Google, too, must deal with the rising interest rates and shifting market conditions. There were around 12,000 layoffs at Google this year. Not only this, but the Department of Justice filed a lawsuit against Google for antitrust violations. It should come as no surprise that Google declared the code red, given that these are some of the toughest obstacles it has faced in its 20 years of dominance. The craziest part is that they even asked their co-founders, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, who both resigned from their executive roles in 2019 and were no longer actively involved in the company's operations, for assistance in this threat. Do you think calling in the original Google founders was a smart move to strategize against this threat of ChatGPT? Let's see what they're planning to do. Stick around to find out. According to the New York Times, both founders of Google, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, were reportedly called to an executive meeting to plan ways to incorporate chatbot capabilities into Google's search engine. They were reportedly working on a strategy for the business's AI operations. According to Forbes, Sergey Brin looked at some Lambda code after requesting access to Google's internal code. This might be a sign that Google will use Lambda code to counter OpenAI. Just imagine how serious this threat is to Google in order for them to call in the original founders for advice on how to combat this. The whole time Google is trying to get their act together and strategize a plan, Microsoft is making major moves. Let's see what they are doing in preparation for the AI war up next. Microsoft is making every effort. They're planning to add another $10 billion to their OpenAI investment. According to the new deal, Microsoft will keep a 49% ownership in OpenAI when it has recovered its investment and will earn 75% of the company's income up to that point. If everything goes as planned, this could end up being one of the best business deals of the decade. On the other side, Google is just trying to keep up. They're currently developing 20 AI campaigns, including tools for creating images, a solution for prototyping apps, and even a green screen mode for YouTube creators. So it's obvious that Google isn't sleeping, and the battle between Microsoft and Google is now intensifying. Let's take a look at their current AI war endeavors. At the end of March 2023, Microsoft released an AI-powered Bing that included some ChatGPT abilities. With the exception of the visual input functionality, the new Bing does not use ChatGPT but does create its answers using GPT-4. Currently, the new Bing is the only method to use GPT-4 for free. Microsoft asserts that Bing is more capable and precise than ChatGPT thanks to its integration with the newest language model. Additionally, Bing's new image creator now supports the OpenAI DALL-E AI image generator. Within the chat, users may ask Bing to generate images. So it is now a possibility that the age of the search engine as we know it is about to end. Let's be clear, Google search isn't going anywhere anytime soon, but it's so exciting to think that there might be a serious competitor around the corner, and from Microsoft's Bing, of all places. So if you're into everything AI, make sure to subscribe to TopBizTV today to watch more videos like this one.